what's up? What's up? It is Thursday, September 5th, 2024. It is back to school night. So make sure that you got that going. Write this in your agenda, and we're going to move straight forward into it. Make sure I can accept some failure. I can accept, because everything fails sometimes, but I can't accept not trying. So make sure you try every day. All right, cool. Also, make sure you got a progress report. Extra credit if you bring it back tomorrow. Also, I do want to let it be known that I did send out progress reports to anyone who had below a 70%. So 70% and below, I sent out a progress report directly to your parent. You still can get the extra credit if you get them to sign the hard copy, but again, I sent out a digital copy to your parents if it was below, okay? And probably more than likely, I've already talked to you in person a couple of times, because some people I've talked to a couple of times. Okay, cool. Today also is College Colors Day, so switch the colors. Switch the colors. Switch the colors. Okay, so tomorrow is College Colors Day. Make sure that if you have some college gear, like wear it tomorrow. You could be your favorite college, could be just someone you cheer for. Also could be maybe a college you actually want to go to. If you're like, I don't got no college gear, wear the colors of the college tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like we do green and gold, whatever the colors are of the college that you want to go to. You know what I mean? And that's tomorrow, Friday, September 6th. So it's College Colors Day, okay? I'll be wearing mine. Okay, so we talked about this yesterday. We're not going to go over this again, but we talked about this yesterday. So if you're like, yo, I don't know what's going on right now, go back to yesterday's video and watch that, okay? So we talked about this yesterday, and we talked about, hey, standing up for a choice and what you believe in. Okay, let's move it forward. It is game time. It's game time. Let's go. So what I want you to do is turn to page 13 inside of your scientific notebook and go ahead and read. So read page 13 and 14. Read them all. This is important that you will read all the way through the whole paragraph right here, right? Read all of this and then read all the questions. That way when you're doing a lab, it's very important. You read through the whole lab. That way when you're doing the lab, you can be already looking for the answers, okay? So pause the screen again. Yes. Pause the screen right here and then read through page 13 and 14, then unpause it. All right, if you read it, you should be able to answer this question. ¿Qué es un sistema? Yeah, what is a system? What is a system? And hopefully you can answer that question. If not, that's telling me I'm not sure if you read, because right here in the very first sentence, it says a system is a group of related parts that make up a whole. If you look a little bit further down, it gives some examples of a system like the solar system, right? Talks about a galaxy, also talks about the digestive system. So it's just something with many parts, right, that are made up, right, that make up one whole thing and do one thing. But each part of the system might do something totally different than the other parts of the system. So that is what a system is. And if I'm having you do an assignment on a system, trust me, you will need this. So we'll talk about systems throughout the rest of the entire year. So just know that. We're going to use this terminology, and you need to be able to know what a system is. Now what you're going to do next is, if you're at home and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know, just pick a board game. Doesn't even matter what the board game is. Pick a game, any game. Now, here in the class, we are actually going to play this game right here. I don't even know if y'all can see that. I'm going to see, here's the game right here. It is, and it's got instructions, so make sure when you're playing your game at home that you read the instructions, okay? So you want to read the instructions. And if you look, there's a couple things. In order to play this game, we need a dice. We need the rooks. We also need some of these tokens, right? We need some of these tokens right here, so I'll put some of those out in order to play the game. So these are all the things needed in order to play this game. We get started over here on start, and then we kind of go around. There's all kinds of different things that are happening all over the place. So make sure. Okay, so whatever game you picked, make sure you answer the questions accordingly, because if you look right here, it says use the board game provided, right? And answer the following questions about systems, okay? So I'm going to make my pencil a little bit thinner because it's too thick. It got extra C's. Nah. So let me see if the writing's good now. Nah, it's still too thick. Let's switch over. Maybe we can, let me see how this one goes. I don't like that one. Boom. So we're going to go down to size number 1. We're going to go to 1. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so what are the parts of the system? Well, as we were looking at, we said dice, right? Cool. We got the board. That's also correct. So it'd be also the board. So dice, board. Also, right? We got these rooks. So, and then we got these tokens. So let's write all that down on there. So we got rooks, boom. And then we got tokens as well. Now, the last thing that is important here is players, because we also need players, because without the players, how does anything happen, right? So nothing actually happens without the players. Now, what is the boundary of the system? You could put a couple of different things. So you could say the edge, right, of the board, so the game board there, or you could also say this, since the players are part of the system, you could say the table, right? So the table that you're actually playing on, or wherever you're playing at, right? Maybe that would be the edge of it. So let's go ahead and scroll down just a little bit more, right? So get the rest of these questions in here. It says, when is the system working? When the system is working, what does it do? What is the goal of the game? So the goal of this game here, this game right here, according to the instructions that I saw, it says get to the end with the most tokens. Now remember, a teacher could have you play any game. Why would I have you play this game? Think about that. Why would I have you play this game? This game is called Safety Game Rules. So it's about lab safety. So the other thing is to learn lab safety. So that is the other thing, or the other goal of this game in particular. Now, for systems to work, how does a player provide input to the system, right? They roll the dice, and then another way that they provide input to the system is they move the rook. Now, some people wanted to say some things that maybe the instructions were part of the system. Here's the thing is, they help you run the system, but they're not actually part of the system. Because if we got rid of the instructions and we knew how to run it up here, would we actually need them? No, so they're not a necessary, or they're not really a part of the system, right? Okay, so now identify at least two parts of the system that must interact with each other if the system is the function. And you could have went with a lot of things. You could have said rook and board, because the rook has to be on the board in order to know what space you're in. You could have said player and rook, right? Those two got to interact. You also could have said dice. You could have said player and dice. That also would have been fine. So there's multiple different ones. Now, this is as far as we are going for today. I do also want to, well, actually we have one last thing to do up in here. So bam, we do actually have a quiz tomorrow. So I want to put that out there. We have a quiz tomorrow. So I'm going to show you where the quiz review stuff is at, and then you need to spend some time reviewing. In class, we spent about 15 minutes reviewing, right? So if you want to review more than that, then that is up to you. But again, I'm going to show you where that's at. So let's go here. Bam, go to Canvas. Same place as normal. Go to Modules. And if you look right here in Modules, you actually have the review slides. And I'm going to click that out and say, look, I actually made the questions directly from these slides. So as soon as these slides open up, you'll see, and these are the slides that you had before. So again, I made the questions directly from these slides. I told you guys both of these were going to be on the quiz. We talked about this in class. That will be on the quiz. Respect, right? We talked about the syllabus. You guys had an assignment for the syllabus. Make sure when you're doing assignments, it's not just for busy work. It's for you to actually learn. So you got to answer some questions about that. First trimester goals, again, not busy work. We're actually going to ask you some questions on this. Make sure you know that. You also had an ed puzzle about what is science. Very basic things about science. Maybe you learned a lot. Maybe it was just a refresher. Either way, you make sure that you're paying attention, because I'm going to ask you some questions about that. If you go back in here, and again, I made the questions directly from these slides, okay? Next thing is this. What is science? That is a quizzes. So it is a quizzes review. Sorry, we asked too many questions about respect. It is what it is, fam. But it's just a way for you to review. And the last thing in here, this is not a quiz review. However, this is an assignment, first trimester goals. Some students already turned this in. They are due on the 6th, which is Friday. So I just want to put all that back together. We have a quiz tomorrow. Here's the quiz review. We also have an assignment that's due tomorrow. First trimester goals. All you have to do is scan it and turn it in because we've already done it. For some people are like, what is that? If you click here, right, it'll open up and it'll show you this whole assignment and on how to do it, right? So it tells you how to do this entire assignment right there. Totally cool. And then the last thing is make sure that you get your progress report signed and brought back. Hopefully I get to see you and your parents tonight at back to school night. Other than that, y'all, peace. Have a wonderful day.